So, I don't know. Yodo, You Only Die Once was my reach out of joy at the thought of death. And it's embarrassing a little bit because it's so clearly tailored to me. And obviously, it's like a look, feel sympathy for me. And I never send videos to my family, but I sent it to my stepbrother and my half brother and sister. And I totally misjudged what the video was. I actually thought it was like happy and joyful and hilarious. I really thought that when I made the video and when I sent it. But anyway, one of the things about family is it is a built-in pre-weaponized gossip circle about anyone eccentric that has mental health problems. Because whenever that person bottoms out and has their problems the worst, the family remembers it, especially if they have to bail somebody out, which my family has had to do with me. So they remember all my flaws, and so none of my ideas get to them. They all just think, oh, that's David. That's what he does. He's an idiot. He draws on walls. He walks around naked. He's an inappropriate person. I don't want to hear about his thoughts about the N-word. That's just him. He's weird. And so that gossip circle has always been my enemy because understand, what I want is a fair hearing. And what I can't get in our society, in all honesty, is a fair hearing. And it's not just family, but it's in general. There are untold millions that would reject me at first sight because of the face tattoos. And there are untold tens of millions that would reject me at sight because of the last name. And my family has done this because it's not the first time I've done something that they disregard. And so they have to disregard again. And so they're not going to come to the table with the same open mind. And so when they call each other, they say he just sent a Yodo video. I guess he's suicidal. I called him and checked in on him and he said he wasn't. Mom, do you want to call him? I don't know what is going on. So my mom calls me. We talk every Sunday, but we never talk because she doesn't have room in her universe for any of my ideas. And so it's a ghost relationship. It's just we're staying around until each other's big event, whatever it is. And we'll talk about inheritance or politics or this or that person or this or that activity. But we never delve into what the deeper problem. We always talk about my daughter, but that's what I'm yodoing about. That's what makes me feel so awful that I long for death, because my daughter's mother just got her boyfriend to text me to explain how stressed out she is over me trying to get my daughter's legal last name. And so to me, that's just on its face offensive. Like, it's just not. But to the rest of them, they think it's legit. They think it's okay for her to deny me information about my daughter in the face of me having nothing. I have no access to her. I have no time with her. I will not claim her on the name change form, and I will not be explaining the name change to my daughter's mother and her boyfriend. I don't want to. They've failed the test. The N-word test, they failed. And so did my family. So is it a burden on me to go and bring it up again and say, hey, you failed this test? Because it's a moral test. And what sucks about the love helix is that he failed the test too. And so I'm distant from him, despite his interest in being a close friend of mine. And I know he's like the only one watching this video besides Lore. Or, I mean, I have 3 subscribers and nobody watches my videos. The poor Love Helix wants to be my friend, but I can't stand his racism. And he failed the N-word test. All I'm saying is, I don't want traditional relationships. I want to change the world. I don't like what's going on. I don't like the way the world is structured on any level. And everybody else seems to be all about the status quo and papering over deep wounds. And the wounds that I have never fully healed. I still pick off the scabs to remember those wounds, because those wounds are lessons from an enemy that's real, which is essentially Bigatra sapiens, the bigoted species. And Bigatro sapiens are the bigoted wise ones who just hold these bigotries about everything they've concluded about. I don't know. My life fucking sucks. I fucking hate it. I hate it. What a worthless life. What a terrible, terrible life. And I don't complain like this to my mom, because what's the point? And I don't complain about this to my daughter's mother, because what's the point? They're never, ever gonna see me eye to eye on these issues. And I don't want to talk to the Love Helix, because he won't either, ever. He'll always say things like 30% of every race is trash, and yet he'll remain like, I only care about my own, in the face of you having to admit 70% of other races are not trash. You should care about them. That's the Chris Rock N lesson. Chris Rock taught an N-word lesson, just as I did. And that is that trash is to be disregarded and is to be held at arm's length. But that is cross-racial. And Rock proved that with his stand-up. I know it's silly, the things I think, but I think that's true. Like, I think you just have to reject racism. What's the point of saying it, though? Nobody changes on any level. Not in tactics, not in logistics. Our entire structure of keeping the world the way it is built off of terrible premises. We are not functioning at all. And I know that I could play a larger role to the benefit of our species, and I am prevented from doing so by closed-minded bigots. And they invade my friendships and families because of the way they think. And I cannot communicate to them the flaws in those thoughts effectively. That's what I'm frustrated about. There's no fixing it. They're broken. These people cannot be fixed. I'm losing it, man.